Dang, 72 grams of protein, 38 grams of carbs, 28 grams of fat, 511 calories. Dang. Okay, yes. That is so good. 100%. This is it. This is the meal prep you need. Hey guys, so we have a very requested video type. I did a questionnaire type of thing on my Instagram, and a lot of people just kind of, it's not really a lot, there's like 3 people who voted, but the majority, 2 people, did want a, I guess, like YouTube video of how to meal prep, you know, any type of meal. So what I'm going to do is meal prep a high protein breakfast. This is something I actually never done before, and I don't know why I didn't think of it, especially when I was working my 9 to 5, because it is so convenient. It's easy. Now, if you have an egg ick, maybe this won't be the one for you, especially because I know a lot of people prefer eggs fresh. So if that's you, maybe this won't be the meal prep that you might enjoy. But if you're somebody who doesn't care, they just want an easy, high protein breakfast where they can get everything that they need and it's just easy, they can take it on the go, then I feel like this is perfect for you. One thing I always felt a little insecure about doing this is I don't necessarily have an aesthetic kitchen, and I see everybody who does these type of videos, they have a more aesthetic kind of kitchen. And I thought about it and I realized, like, okay, not everybody has an aesthetic kitchen. Like, most of us kind of live within our means. So it was just like, I can't let that stop me. So let's get it started. I'm going to grab all the ingredients and we'll get started. Obviously, like, first thing, we need a cutting board, a knife to cut our veggies. I got the eggs. We have onions. I prefer the already diced because I'm not trying to cry on camera. We got bell peppers. The main star of the show is egg whites. Totally optional, but it's basically whatever cheese you want to use. I prefer the fat-free feta cheese just because it's high in protein, low in calories, and it just tastes good. As also a part of my veggies, I know I could use like regular tomatoes, but I don't know what it is, but just sun-dried tomatoes is so good. And Trader Joe's has it where it's without the oil, so far less calories, better option. So we just washed our veggies, so I'm just gonna cut it. I'm not gonna do it in dice form. It's gonna be more like lengthwise. Like nice, kind of like little slices like that. Nice and easy. Okay, we got our veggies cut up nice and length form. Oh yeah, so attractive. Eggshells. And as I'm cooking, I like to just put away the things I'm not gonna need anymore. So we're done with the eggs, so I'm just gonna put that back. The next thing is the egg whites. We're gonna do 1 cup into each one. So we are gonna use a scale to measure out the egg whites, just because it makes it a lot more accurate. You don't have to guess. And especially if you are somebody who is counting macros, this is gonna be important because this is how you know how much protein you're actually eating. And the best way to do this right, and honestly just the easiest, You just want to measure the whole thing that's in it. Let the numbers kind of calculate, and then you're going to hit tare. And then you can start pouring in based on the negative number. That's like 5.31. So we were trying to aim for 8. Almost there. The same thing. Basically just need like an ounce. Yeah, good enough. Now this is the part where you can kind of be creative, have a little fun with it. You can start adding the spices, the veggies that you want. And I do have chicken sausage in my fridge, so I think I'm gonna add that as well just so I can get rid of it. Plus it's like extra protein, so why not? So we're gonna start with some garlic salt. There's like no measurement. I'm just kind of doing it to my heart's content. Do some red chili pepper flakes. We're gonna give this a good mix. For this next part, I know so many of you are gonna be like weirded out, and especially if you don't like cottage cheese, but trust me, you're not gonna taste it in this omelet concoction. It's extra protein, so it's like, why not? Especially if you can't taste it. Also gonna measure out the servings in this just because that's how you know how much protein you're eating. Not gonna go too crazy. We'll do like 2 tablespoons. Promise, you're not even gonna taste it. Don't even complain about it. You'll be fine. Gonna whisk that up. Now the fun part, we're just gonna add veggies and put it into all of this. Keep the colors kind of even. Do a little bit of yellow, a little bit of red in each one. And to be honest, I don't even measure vegetables just because they're so low in calories, so go crazy. So we're going in with the sun-dried tomatoes. You could just use fresh tomatoes, it doesn't really matter, but I like the taste that comes from this. That's just me. Fat-free feta cheese, you're just gonna sprinkle it on top, 1 serving. It's always good to measure. Last one. Wait, almost forgot the onions. So just measuring to my heart's content. There's like barely any calories in this, so just do what feels right. At this point, there's also just so little space that I can't add as much more. Good mix. Chicken sausages that I had in my fridge for like the last like week or so. Let's chop them up really quick, and then I promise that's the last thing I'm gonna add. The good thing about these breakfast bowls is that you could add whatever it is that you want. The more stuff you have in your fridge that you're trying to get rid of, like this is the best thing that you could probably do. Okay, we got them nice and chopped. I'm just gonna throw them in. What a goated recipe. Like you can just keep on adding the protein, the veggies if you're vegetarian. Like you could even do tofu instead of chicken sausage if that's not what you want. I use the Amylu's chicken breakfast sausage. I got it at Costco and I had so many that I had to get rid of it. Okay, now I promise we are done. what I'm gonna do is while I clean up, I'm gonna set the oven to be 400 degrees and we're gonna pop them in for about 35 minutes. Also, I don't know if this is like an Asian thing, but does anybody else put their pots and pans in the oven just for like storage? I thought it was a totally normal thing until I saw like TikToks of people being like, you're only Asian if. So we want bake at 400 and we let that preheat. So the major key to also meal prepping and just making it go really fast is do the dishes in between when you're waiting for things. So while I was waiting for the oven to preheat, I already did my dishes so that way I don't have to worry about it. But the oven is done, so let's pop these babies in. Okay, and then we're gonna set our timer for 35 minutes. So we shall check back in on that. I'm not gonna lie, I took a little nappy because why not? It was 35 minutes, so why wouldn't you? Timer is off. Let's go check on our egg. Okay, they definitely look ready. We're just gonna go ahead and grab them out. Oh, look at that, fresh out of the oven. Actually, I lied. If you see in the middle, it's a little jiggly, so it's still kind of undercooked, so we're gonna keep it in there just a little bit longer. Every oven is different, so it is what it is. But we're gonna come back in let's come back in like 7 minutes. We'll see how that one goes. Okay, we're back. We're gonna check on them again, and hopefully they're done. It's my first time making it, so let's check it. Jiggle. So I think it's ready. While I wait for that to cool, I am going to calculate the macros. I honestly just keep it super simple and just use MyFitnessPal. Dang, 72 grams of protein. Okay. 38 grams of carbs, 28 grams of fat. Honestly, not even too worried that the fats are a little bit higher than I would like, because depending what your protein goal is, you're pretty much more than halfway there. So you can just spend the rest of your day eating more carbs or more things that are less on the protein side and more just like the fun foods. And how many calories actually? 511 calories. Dang. Okay, this recipe might be it. Obviously, the last thing we have to do is just taste test, so let it cool down just a little bit longer. But here is the final look. I know it's not aesthetic and it's not pretty, but I feel like for 72 grams of protein, that's pretty nice. Okay, it's cooled down a bit, so let's do a quick taste test. It's still kind of steamy, actually. That's kind of crazy. That's actually pretty good. Yes. That was so good. 100%. This is it. This is the meal prep you need. And literally the final step, once it's officially cooled down, just take the containers, pop a lid on it, throw it in the fridge. You have breakfast now for 4 days. Like, there is no excuse why you can't hit 100 grams of protein, why you can't eat a high protein breakfast. And especially if you are somebody who struggles to get in plenty of protein, the missing piece is probably your breakfast. You are not eating enough in breakfast, because a common problem is that usually by the end of the day, by the end of the workday, you are about 20 to 30 grams of protein behind and you're trying to chug a protein shake. Instead of doing that, just make this high protein breakfast, okay? But thanks for joining me for this meal prep video. It's the first time I did something like this. If you have any other ideas, if you want to see a lunch or a dinner, let me know and we can make that happen. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.